All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the RaidCall EMS Summer 1 2013. We've got the American group stage. We've got Team Dignitas versus Artyk Gaming. Right now, winner is going to move on to the playoffs. The loser is going to go home. Thanks for joining us here on Neo Dota. My name is Maut. With me tonight is a good friend of mine, and Cletus. How are you doing, sir?
Pretty great. How about you?
Man, I'm excited. You know, we've got some good teams here. It looks like, of course, everyone's loading in. And, you know, Dignitas playing maybe not up to snuff recently, but, of course, they actually have played against Artyk already once today in a best-of-2 series, and they tied 1-1. So very interesting to see how this match is going to go right now. And I think we're both a little familiar with both of these teams right now. What do you expect coming out from the lineups of both sides? I mean, we know Dignitas likes to pick up some random heroes here. They also like to, you know, make sure that they have the farm before they start pressuring. What about Artyk? I've seen IWO go with the gyrocopter. Do you think they're going to try to go for that again?
Honestly, I have no idea. I used to play against them a fair amount before, and they would pick some of the craziest stuff and innovative things, and since then they've really changed their drafting style a lot, so hopefully we'll get to see something pretty awesome.
I'm going to agree with you there. I mean, you know, we don't get to see a whole lot of awesome picks. I mean, we I don't know if you caught any of the Quantic games earlier, but I mean, they pick some ridiculous heroes, man, and with every new patch, Dota just gets more interesting and more interesting. Like, I remember, like, if you remember, like, after TI2, no one was picking up the gyrocopter or anything like that, and then all of a sudden this hero comes out onto the scene and absolutely just dominates people, and that's one of the reasons I absolutely love Dota, man, and I gotta just say here, I'm excited to see what the new picks are going to be coming with this patch. And with 6.78, do you think we're going to see a lot of crazy new stuff coming out?
I think that Naga might come back before TI3, but you know, honestly, I'm not really sure. With Nikes getting somewhat nerfed and a lot of strange heroes getting buffed, we might see more Weavers and Banes and that sort of thing, but don't know. We'll have to see.
Naga, the bold prediction there. We actually saw somebody run Naga mid, I believe it was yesterday, on the side of, who was it? I'm not sure, but it was typical mistakes. They ran a Naga mid, and it actually did really well for them because they were able to just shut down the mid with a bunch of ganks. It was like against a Templar assassin. They just threw the ensnare up on Demon all of the time, and they got a bunch of kills out of it. So, I mean, I'm going to agree with you on the Naga there. I think Naga can come back into it, but at the same time, I think people will start being like, Naga, don't know if we really want to see that. You know, people, not the biggest fan at Naga. If you went to TI2, can remember all the boos happening when the Song of the Siren went, but at the same time, personally one of my favorite carries to pick up. But that being said, jumping into the game real quick, of course we have the Lifestealer ban as well as the Clockwork ban. Io and Batrider coming out from Team Dignitas. Artyk will have first pick as Team Dignitas did elect to choose the side. They chose the Radiant side, which means Artyk will grab the first pick here on the Dire side. With these bans coming out right now, there's still a bunch of good supports as well as just general heroes able to be played here. One of the biggest changes, I think, might have been the Magnus's ult was scaled down significantly from his damage. We haven't seen him in quite some time. So do you think we're going to go ahead and see Magnus anytime soon, or do you think he's done in the competitive scene right now?
I think that the hero's still very viable. Very, very viable. But with the change in bans and everything, it's weirder to just try and pick up the Magnus Rubik and everything. That and just a lot of the heroes that have been coming out recently, such as like Clockwork and has been getting a ton of action, is pretty good against Magnus. But other than that, I don't really know why Magnus hasn't been getting picked up too much. I think it's just fallen out of favor more than anything.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you 100% because Beatas was talking about the same thing last night, and you're right. I think teams are kind of like preparing themselves for Magnus pickups. They're understanding how to play against him, and they're doing a very good job of just making sure that they avoid that reverse polarity and maybe even pick up a puck to make sure you can counteract that. Of course, we're not going to see Magnus just yet, as Artyk is going to go ahead and pick up Treant Protector, one of the most annoying heroes to play against, Darkseer and Lone Druid for Team Dignitas. When you're playing Anacletus, how do you feel about the Treant Protector?
I think that as far as the lane goes, he's generally just one of those heroes that doesn't really lane all that well. Like, he doesn't really do too much with farm and everything, and his whole armor is only really good in the early and mid game, and when it gets to late game, it's just not that efficient. So it can fall out, and his ult isn't all that strong either. It's an interesting hero. Most of the time, I'd want it if you want to try and like get another hero to win their lane, like if you have a Weaver or Slark that's solo against someone.
Dire team ban.
I mean, and that's a good point. I think it's more annoying than anything, but you, my friend, must be psychic here, talking about the Naga Siren, and boom, there it goes. Artyk's going to go ahead and pick it up. Not sure if they were listening, but... And this happens every time I cast with you, I swear, Dignitas. You're just like, yeah, they could potentially pick up this random hero that never gets picked up, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, what? Where is this coming from? So, once again, you predict correctly, my friend. We see the Gyrocopter ban from Artyk as well as the Bane ban coming out from Team Dignitas. Dignitas' lineup really strong. Remaining. They've got heroes that they love to play. Lone Druid played by AUI 2000, absolutely outstanding. And of course, Darkseer, generally either done by Snaking or Universe. I'm not sure who's going to play it there, but it's going to be really interesting to see what they come up with next with these next few bans.
I hope that Dignitas picks up an Ogre Magi with the bear, so we can see some bloodlusted bear taking down towers.
Oh my god. Don't even get me started. I would love that. That would be the best thing ever. Ogre Magi is, I think, one of my favorite supports to watch. I mean, I can't play him for crap in like an actual game. Like if I go into IXL Open and I try to play Ogre Magi, people will flame me, be like, "Oh my god, noob, get out of game!" But then when I see it in pro games, I just get so like, it's just so awesome to see. But that being said, there's still a few more bans going through here. Artyk, of course, banning out a couple carries with that Gyrocopter in tow. Team Dignitas, they're going to ban out some supports right now, despite the fact that they have none in their own right. Of course, the Treant Protector with the Bane is just so difficult because, of course, you're going to throw that Enfeeble on the Bear. Treant Protector with the Living Armor as well, and the Leech Seed is going to be nice to have. And Overgrowth for positioning. Darkseer, good pickup for Team Dignitas right now. Looking at the lane so far, kind of hard to tell where everyone's going to go. Naga Siren potentially could be with the Treant Protector. I did talk about earlier how Naga Siren did go mid on this side of typical mistakes, but I'm not sure if they want to do that. Do you like Naga Siren in the one role, in that hard carry role?
Yeah, I think that she has amazing potential to like work through the late game, especially against a bear. Like, one of her greatest abilities is that her illusions are fairly tanky and do a huge amount of damage and everything. But she can also set up big team fights. For right now, I'm worried about Artyk's laning.
5 seconds
Their
remaining.
Naga can't really aggressive tri-lane that well, and they're going to be sort of gimped if they even try using a Naga. Like, the net's great for setting up stuff, but she needs levels in order to actually like use her blast to do damage, so they wouldn't really have that much kill potential. So what I'm worried about is Dignitas picking up some safe lane care, like some heroes that don't do that well early and transition well into the late game, or like a jungler or something, because with a Treant they wouldn't really want to put that solo top or middle if they do run a aggressive tri lane. So I think that what Dignitas is trying to do is ban out supports that could do well in the late game. So, like they ban the Bane and Rubik, heroes that don't really add kill potential, but they get on later on. You know, it could steal Vacuum and stuff like that, or Wall, and it could potentially win team fights.
Right, and I want to remind everybody this is going to be the best of 3 series here. If whoever wins this one, they'll be moving on, of course, to the playoffs, which will be starting tomorrow. Roughly around 6 or 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. You make a very good point, Artyk. I don't think they're going to be going for that aggressive tri-lane just because Treant and Naga kind of defensive pickups there. Naga can set stuff up like you talked about, but I think with, of course, that Treant Protector, they're definitely going to play defensively. Meanwhile, Team Dignitas, they might play offensively with this Juggernaut pickup as well. Give maybe Lone Druid the solo safe lane. Darkseer maybe he's going to go into the jungle or something like that. They could do a whole lot of stuff here on the side of Team Dignitas. I also want to remind everybody before we get going into this game that if you have the ticket, the RaidCall EMS 1 Summer 2 2013 ticket, you can watch this in-game and go ahead and make sure, of course, that our mics are on. You can listen to us in-game because, of course, we have our mics on in-game. That'll be great to have. Also, I had one more point I wanted to make. Oh, yes. After this best of 3 series, guys, and this is a best of 3 between Dignitas and Artyk, we will have a best of 3, and it's going to be Typical Mistakes versus Tryhard Dota, and that's going to be for the other losers bracket matchup there. So that's going to be certainly interesting to see. We will be moving over to twitch.tv/NESL_Dota2 for that matchup there. So definitely going to be interesting to see what's going to happen there. Looking like Artyk is going to be picking up another hero in just a second, but your thoughts on the Juggernaut pickup from the side of Dignitas, Anacletus?
So I think that Artyk assumed that it would be a safe lane bear and off lane Darkseer, so they picked up the Naga in order to net him and add kill potential on the Darkseer. And I think Dignitas realized what they were doing, so I think what they might do is either run... I think the bear is definitely solo safe, but I think that they're either going to put the Darkseer mid or a Darkseer Juggernaut +1 lane top.
Right.
Which would be really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of kill potential.
I think that that's a mid Furion.
Really?
But, Yeah, right now Dignitas doesn't really have that, like, they don't have any stuns on their 3 core heroes, it looks like. So their support, and the supports that have stuns are banned out right now. They still could pick up, like a Lena or something odd there. But I think the Artyk's assuming that they're going to run an aggressive tri-lane, and if they are, it's a lot harder for them to go and like gank with their supports, because it's fairly obvious when the supports just go missing. So the Furion, the main weakness of that is that he's pretty gankable with no escapes and not that much tanky health and everything, so...
This is a very interesting pickup, though, right now for the side of Team Dignitas. When you see a Leshrac, you're going to think, like, okay, well, you need something to set that up. Even, like, a Lifesteal or Open Wound Slow is enough to set up that stun. But right now, what does he have to really set up a stun here besides Lone Druid Root, which doesn't happen until later on into the game when he can get a few levels there. So, I'm kind of confused about this Leshrac pickup. It's certainly, maybe they want to try to go for this pushing lineup here with the Lone Druid, with the Leshrac, especially if they decide to skill Edict there. But those are my thoughts on that. I mean, I'm not 100% sure myself, but we'll have to see how it does play out. Artyk, of course, they've got 32 seconds on reserve time right now. What are you thinking about that Leshrac pickup?
I think that's pretty awesome. It goes with what they're going for right now. They're going to go and just try and push down the bottom lane, it looks like. I think that is a mid Juggernaut, Lone Druid, Leshrac +1, bottom, and then Darkseer off lane. And it looks like what we're going to see is Dignitas is going to push down their safe lane, and it looks like Artyk's going to try and counter push the top lane. And we're going to see Tree probably armoring the off lane towers, and we might see like Artyk TPing it with Naga and everything to try and defend and sleep, which we can set up and give enough time for like their other heroes to TP in. So we may see some early clashing and defending the tier 2 towers, but they're really not going to defend the tier 1s.
Right, and that's what I've seen a lot of recently. Just when you have that pushing style, just try to go for the towers when there's nobody in that off lane, to defend against that. So I'm kind of interested to see who can get, what tower first and when they're really going to start fighting here. Like we talked about earlier, with that Tree and Protector, that is a pretty defensive lineup. Nagasara not going to be nearly as effective as maybe the Juggernaut will be into the mid stages of the game, into the early mid stages of the game. Of course, Darkseer does need some levels of his own, and Nature's Prophet, if he can get some farm, he can also be very effective. When it comes down to it, it could be really the Leshrac or the Vengeful Spirit that make the difference here. If you can get a nice swap from Artyk, you can potentially get a pick off here. And Nyx Assassin, the final pickup coming out from Team Dignitas, this is a lot better, especially with that Leshrac. You've got that stun to set up the Split Earth from the side of Leshrac there, and on top of that, with Juggernaut, you've got plenty of kill potential here. But I'm not, we talked about laning right now, and I'm just not really sure how they're going to land this up. We talked about it a little bit earlier before, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I don't know what they're going to do here. Artyk, in the meantime, they have 29 seconds of reserve time here, and then we are going to, of course, jump to the game. And the Artyk, the Peruvian powerhouse, will pick up the Storm Spirit, surprisingly enough.
That's what I was talking to you before you turned on the stream and everything. They like their Storms. It's like just an interesting pocket pick. But I think we're going to see an aggressive trialing with their Jug, Lesh, Nyx, and then Darkseer mid and Lone Druid bottom. And then Artyk's going to run a VS, Naga, Tree top with Furion, probably running against that bear. Yeah,
that does make the most sense, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here on Neo Dota. Of course, I am Maut. With me tonight is Anacletus, and we've got a good game here. So on the side of Artyk, we've got Smash, who's going to be up on that Naga Siren. We're going to see Ewo on the Storm Spirit. Masoku will be on the Tree and Protector. Misko will be on the Vengeful Spirit. And Mihawk, to round out the lineup, will be on the Nature's Prophet. Meanwhile, on the side of Dignitas, we're going to see AUI 2000 up on the Lone Druid. Snaking will be on the Darkseer once again. Down in the bottom lane, Fog's going to be on the Nyx Assassin. Universe on the Juggernaut. And Way Too Sexy will be on the Leshrac here. So, this defensive tri-lane down bottom, looks like they're just going to send an off lane for that Nature's Prophet. He probably will just abandon that altogether like we talked about earlier. Head into the jungle. Top lane is going to be IWO. And he'll probably have Misko as well as Masoku head up there eventually. But right now they're sitting mid, maybe looking for a pick off here, maybe just trying to stop any sort of early roshing coming out from the side of Dignitas. That is not going to happen. Universe is going to head back down to the bottom lane. And if this is a defensive tri-lane up here in the top lane for the side of Artyk, AUI 2000 might have some trouble. He might actually head to the jungle because of it. But we will see. It looks like he wants to pull the creep wave like any good Lone Druid will do. And looking at the lineups right now, I kind of have to favor it to Dignitas just a little bit, just because I think the bear will carry harder than that Naga Siren, even of course with all of the buffs that she'll be getting, including the Vengeance Sword coming out from the side of Vengeful Spirit. And of course the Juggernaut with that level 6 ult can just do so much damage when used correctly. I think Juggernaut has been a really great pocket pickup and has been just one of the most picked heroes in the past few months. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Artyk can play up against this lineup. And they're actually going to dual lane mid right now with Artyk. Smash is going to be here, of course, with the Riptide. MSTCO is going to be there with the Vengeful Spirit. And Snake King might have a tough time. He's got that double Ion Shell going, so he will get a few last hits right now. But they can potentially kill him quickly. But Snake King, of course, he will have level 2 Surge early on. But what are your thoughts on that dual lane mid right now happening for Artyk?
I think that's pretty awesome. I think that they, figured that there was going to be a Darkseer mid, so they just planned accordingly. I don't think that they expected the tri lane to be bottom, however, because they moved the Storm there, and I think that, if they were to try and... If they knew that the... I'm just not really sure.
That's alright.
As far as why they're putting the Bear top and why the Storm is top instead of the dual lane over that, but I think that they just figured that they would be clashing and the Storm would output more DPS over the Naga earlier.
And that's definitely true, and it's also good that the Storm is going to be getting some semblance of farm. I mean, he can do a good job of carrying, especially into the mid-game, of course, with that pull, with the damage, if he can get that working level. And Snake King going to get some nice CS right now. He's sitting at 8. Smash, in the meantime, only at 6 here. So even with that dual lane that they've kind of broken apart right now, Snake King having the better end of that advantage there. Universe, of course, he's sitting at 9 right now, but in the jungle, getting 10 CS is, of course, Mihawk, but he is in the jungle, so not a big surprise there. He'll probably go for an early Midas, I'd imagine. And Ewo, he's going to be up here. He's going to try to stop this pull that was coming out from the side of the Lone Druid of AUI 2000. AUI 2000 right now sitting on 3 CS, so really when I watch Aoi play, sometimes I get concerned about the fact that he's not getting a lot of early CS, but he always somehow manages to come back and get so much farm into the mid-stage of the game.
Yeah. As far as how this game could go, I think that it's going to come down to which team gets farms and gets the early and mid-game fights. Either team could really transition well into the late game with, like, VS's swap can really turn team fights. Furion can transition incredibly well with split pushing. Storm with items can potentially just pick a lot of their supports off, and especially like Leshrax and Nixon, they're pretty weak, although with Spike Carapace, could turn it on that Storm really easily. But I think that the only hero for Artyk that's really going to fade out is going to be that tree. The rest of it's going to come back to like how much farm they can get on their heroes and how the team fights go.
And we talked about the tree earlier, and that's a good point about phasing the tree out, because of course once the levels start coming, he's going to be a little bit less than useful, essentially, even with that overgrowth, which is not that great of an ability. However, with the living armor change, and with living armor being the way that it is, you kind of want to be aggressive, I think, all around the map as early as possible for the side of Artyk. He can just living armor up any bad situation, which we saw, I think, last night, coming out from the side of Dignitas. I'm not sure, maybe it was KP actually. But you should be aggressive with, of course, that living armor available, and they're just not doing it right now. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Snake King just doing a bit of Ion Shell damage up to Smash here, so Smash has to be careful, as you can see. 27 CS now going for Snake King. 26 in the jungle for Mihawk, but of course that is in the jungle, so it's a little bit more skewed. Meanwhile, in the top lane, TP rotation is going to come in. Masoku doing some leech seed damage, and there's going to be the TP from Mihawk. AUI 2000 is getting sprouted up. There's a lot of people here. They want to get this first blood, and they will. I was going to pick up that kill on Aoi 2000. Nice job coming out from the side of the Peruvian powerhouses Artyk there to get that first blood. And Aoi will go down, and he's also not setting out a whole lot of CS as well. So very good gank, but of course they are leaving Universe to farm down to the bottom lane as this is happening.
Yep, I think that this is exactly what Artyk needs to be doing. I think they need to get that tier 1 tower out of the way as soon as they can, because once they get that out of the way, they make it so that if that bear's up at all on the lane, that they can just run at him and kill him, and there's really no threat of anyone TPing in. The distance between where they're going to be killing him and the tier 2 tower is too far for Dignitas to TP in and save him. But
yeah. That's absolutely true, but meanwhile you're talking about pushing, and it looks like way too sexy will go for the Edict build. It's only level 1, nice fortification is going to fly out. There's only one hero here from the side of Artyk, and that's Misco, and it doesn't look like Dignitas is going to stop anytime soon. So Artyk going to go ahead and pause. Now it should be noted here that the last time, well, not the last time, but the last time in this specific tournament that these two teams played, Artyk had a lot of lag issues. They had to pause a lot. Dignitas was getting a little frustrated. Of course, Dignitas eventually did win that game, but Artyk does have a lot of ping issues because they are playing from South America. If we do check out the ping right now, they're all above 200 right now. Not the highest ping in the world, but still rather difficult. Artyk a good team, and I'm kind of excited. If they can get to a LAN scenario, I want to see how they can play without having to deal with ping issues.
Yeah. Well, I'm sort of rooting for Artyk this game. Some friends of mine, and I like their picks.
Absolutely. I mean, they do have... They've got some interesting picks. I mean, you don't see Vengeful Spirit too often. Same with Naga Siren. Trent's been picked more and more. But at the same time, I mean, if you look at Dignitas' lineup, it's pretty standard here. Not that that's a bad thing. When Dignitas picks a standard lineup, they generally do a very good job with it as well. But Artyk, of course, this is the losers bracket final for the side of Group A, I want to say. Yeah, it's Group A. So whoever wins this game, this best of 3 series, whoever wins this best of 3 series will move on to go to the playoffs, which starts tomorrow. Loser will, in fact, go home. So very important best of 3 series right now for both of these teams. And Juggernaut going to go ahead and grab that tower. His phase boots are done, so Universe with plenty of CS right now, and he's actually tied with the Darkseer or thereabouts. So Snake King sitting at 1,200 gold. Will he go for something like the mech early on? I'd imagine maybe Arcane Boots first, but I think he'll probably be the one building that early mech.
Yep. They need the mech to start pushing, and I imagine he's gonna probably get that before he finishes Arcane Boots, and they'll get an early Arcane Boost where they'll probably come out around the same time once they start taking the mid towers. I like the VS pickup. I've been trying to tell people to pick VS for a while. It's such an awesome hero.
It is. Vengeful Spirit, when I first started playing Dota, Vengeful Spirit was the one hero that I played consistently and did well with. It was the first hero that I started getting, actually good at it. Like, because when I first started playing Dota, I would play, meanwhile, action in the mid lane, Smash is going to get impaled up there, Mana Burn as well, and he's going to fall down, Snake King grabbing that kill, nice gank coming out from Fog. That was even without Vendetta. Now there's 3 heroes here. AUI 2000 is going to send the bear on the tower. Looks like Living Armor's going to go, and actually they're going to back off. Nisco is here. So... my story got interrupted. It's not that great of a story, but when I first started playing, I would build Weaver with like straight up just like a Demon Edge and like Slippers of Agility and like brown boots. I mean, that was my typical build when I first started playing Dota. But when I started playing Vengeful Spirit, that's really when I got into the whole, support, building mech, things like that. So, Vengeful Spirit, there's a soft spot in my heart for her.
I always loved playing Templar Assassin as support. I had no clue. I would play like random green in houses.
Templar Assassin support, how does that work?
I don't know, I just put traps everywhere.
Oh, nice. Okay, so that's actually good though. Getting vision. I mean, you're doing something there, so that's very smart. I mean, at least when I was playing Weaver, it wasn't like I was carrying or anything. I had no idea how time lapse worked. I was like, wait, you can go back in time? I had no idea. Meanwhile, 4 heroes. There's going to be the ball lightning jumping on his Snake King right now, taking some damage. Nice impale, but the magic missile coming in from Nisco. The ensnare as well. Snake King in some trouble. Nice vacuum. Huge vacuum into the split earth. The Omni Slash going. Song of the Siren. Now they're trying to get out. Somehow Snake King survives. And EO leaving. Smash using, of course, that defensively. What an excellent split earth thing into Sexy. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that got real bad real quick. That was a fight that looked like Artyk couldn't lose, and then in the blink of an eye, they just sort of lost it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and Snake King, we talked about it before, Snake King on that Darkseer, he's no stranger to that hero. It's huge vacuum, and you don't need Wall of Replica to be effective with that Darkseer. A nice vacuum followed up by a big stun. And it's the same if you've got Alina with Light Strike Array, so I think that's definitely a good fight for him. Sorry?
There's Ali up there getting the farm that he always gets. He's caught back up with the Furion.
See, he always does that. He always finds a way. He always finds room on the map. AUI 2000, one of the best farmers for that specific reason. Even if he's behind, he'll find a way to get back into it. He's at 1600 gold. At this point, I imagine him, he likes to go for that rating, which I saw him go yesterday, I believe, in the match versus KP. Fogged is Vendetta up right now. There's no sentry wards around here. Looks like he wants to try to initiate. Treant could be the potential target. He doesn't have living armor. He just used it on the tower. Fog doesn't want to dive this, of course, because there will be vision that they will grant them for, of course, the true sight. But now everybody coming up here from Dignitas looking like they want to fight this. And they might do so. There's Surge coming in from Fogged right now, looking to find anybody. He's going to scout out Misoku. Misoku's going to back way off now. Looks like they want to try to go for the tower. No fortification, nice Wrath of Nature, as well as the living armor. They want to go for this tower. Meanwhile, Smash is going to get some room to farm mid. There's the Wave of Terror coming in. Going to get some armor reduction going. And his Chico, of course, that's only 2 points armor reduction. Ball Lightning coming in from IWO. He's going to back off. He's got plenty of mana here. That was just a little bit of harassment coming in. There is, of course, the Healing Ward from Universe. Living armor on the tower again, but this is going to fall. They did a nice job delaying it, but the inevitable is, in fact, going to come. Nyx Assassin will take the tower. They'll take it bottom.
They were just trying to delay it to give the Fury in time to take a tower, but they had pushed it out far enough to where it didn't matter. By the time it came, he barely did any damage to bottom tower, and they still got top.
Yeah, I
mean, a little bit more farm for Juggernaut.
He needed to get more damage there. He needed to have, at least some help to try to push that. Unfortunately, it was just himself. Universe could have ulted on him, but there were too many opposing creeps around, so the Omni Slash would have been wasted. So a smart save from Universe. Mystico, he's sitting on wards right now. Let's check out the items while we've got a second. Snaking, of course, he had that mech done at 8 minutes. Evo is actually going to be going for an Orca Malevolence. Definitely a smart item. Universe almost has his drums, by the way. Meanwhile, up in the top jungle here, I was going to check the grass, but they're going to go right on top of Mihawk. There's the Impale. Snaking, he's got a vacuum. Living armor's going to go. Mihawk taking more damage. Here's Iwo. Snaking, vacuum in. They're going to get the kill there. And now AUI 2000 diving past the tower. Excuse me, IWL. He's going to be able to ball lightning out. And that should be the end of the aggression. Maybe here comes the Soku, and now the bear, Spike Carapace, nice summon to Snaking. He's got Surge, but he is the ensnare. He's going to surge himself away, but the ensnare is keeping him in place. Here comes Way Too Sexy as well, and they're going to be able to get out for free, essentially, picking off that one kill on the Furion. And in the meantime, the Universe is going to go ahead and farm bottom and just do some tower damage to, of course, the tier 2 tower.
Yep, I think that Dignitas is doing exactly what they need to do right now. They're finding some free kills here and there to stop Artyk from farming, because if Artyk gets too much farm, then all these free towers stop falling. And they're doing a good job to transition themselves into the late game, and even when they were killing the Fury, they were getting farm mid. They came when Artyk came to try and stop them from getting away for free, and meanwhile they had the Juggernaut farming, and they're just getting farm all over the place. Meanwhile, Artyk's being really just vice gripped into where they have to stay within their jungle, they have to stay within where the lanes are pushed, and they're being threatened of being ganked by Nyx at this point.
Vice grip, I think, is the correct term here. As Universe doing some damage to Mihawk right now. Mike can go for the Omni Slash. Will he use it? Yep, there it goes. Not going to be able to do enough damage to Living Armor. He will get out just in time. Universe having to use that Omni Slash, and it's not connecting just because the treants were right around him. Nice treant usage coming out from the side of Mihawk. And Universe, of course, going to pick up that drum as the arcane boots do go from the side of Snaking. And now, it looks like Dignitas sitting mid just a little bit here. AUI 2000 up to 64 CS. He's found that farm once again, ladies and gentlemen. And he's also got a Midas on top of that. Plus 1700 gold. 3 heroes here on the mid lane for the side of Dignitas. Smash looking like he wants to defend this. He does, of course, have the Song of the Siren. He's got a Band of Elven Skin on top of that as well. Living Armor up on the tower right now. This tower will take some damage, and the Living Armor will go away. There's going to be the Edict, but Way Too Sexy backing off. Everybody from the side of Artyk looks like they want to join in here. And that's going to be it. Medallion of Courage for Vengeful Spirit. Definitely a smart pickup. This allows them to do an early Roshan if they want to. But it's easier said than done because they have a very squishy lineup. And I think that's one of their problems right now. If you look at Dignitas, they've got a kind of squishy lineup as well, but they do have that bear. So there is that.
I think that when they start moving the Leshrac and Darkseer and Nyx mid, they really don't have the intention of killing that tower. I think that they're just trying to make space for their Juggernaut and Bear to just go farm. Because right now I think that they realize that if they go try and push a tower and this Naga sleeps on them and they get a good tree ult, and well, tree doesn't even have ult yet, but if they get a good initiation, this game could turn sour for Dignitas real quick. So I think that they're just trying to get up some crucial items in their Juggernaut and Bear before they start trying to really split push their way through the game.
Absolutely. You make such a good point, just because we talked about how Dignitas likes to make sure they've got that lead before they really start getting, those kills going, getting those pushes going, the smoke ganks even. They like to have their items up. They don't like to play from behind here. They're up 5,000 in experience right now. They're up 5,000 in gold. A nice lead at 13 minutes into the game. Hero levels, you can see AUI 2000 sitting at level 11 right now, up in the top jungle. He's able to just get some more farm here. As you can see, 2,700 gold. At this point, he definitely looks like he's going to be going for Radiance. Universe sitting at level 9 right now, and of course IWO is actually only at level 10, so he's not doing bad for himself, and 9 for the Naga as well. But in the meantime, looks like Jug is going to either go for Battle Fury or for Shadow Blade. I'm going to assume it's going to be the Shadow Blade, however. I could be wrong.
I think that right now Artyk's waiting for their Fury to finish a mech, and then they might try and take a mid tower or a bottom tower or something.
Yeah, and he's actually pretty close to it. He actually has the Buckler finished up, and he just needs the Midas. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Vengeful Spirit going to grab a kill on Fogged. It looks like he did not use that Nether Swap, so it was just, of course, that Magic Missile going in there. A nice kill for Fogged to go down. Unfortunate for Dignitas, but now they are going to get some more massive spikes. I don't think so. I think I'm good to go, but
I'm not getting him.
Looks like it's just you Fogged, unfortunately. But yeah, it looks like Dignitas wants to go for the tier 1 tower mid right now. There's the living armor. Universe has his Omni Slash. It's still level 1. Maybe waits till level 2 to try to fight that. He's got 6,000, of course, in net worth right now. And AUI just getting so much room to farm. He's got 3,500 gold, very close to that relic. And once he gets it, that Radiance is not far behind.
Yep. There's some Artyk drawing in the map. It looks like they might try and go and gank the bear soon, but he's rotating right now.
Yeah, he realizes he can't stay up there for too much longer. Of course, those camps are down in the jungle, so he's just going to head up here to the mid lane, maybe just try to help his team push. I'm not 100% sure. I think they want to, much like the Nature's Prophet waiting for that mech, which does pick up, I think they want to wait for that Radiance on AUI 2000. At least that's my thought process behind it.
Yeah. I think that both teams probably just want to farm right now and see where that takes them. Looks like Universe is making a Battle Fury. Huh.
See, that's what I was wondering. Is it Battle Fury? Is it Shadow Blade? It is going to be a Battle Fury because he picks up the broadsword. And that's kind of a little late, I thought. But at the same time, he doesn't seem too concerned about it. That's going to help him farm. The cleave damage is going to be there as well. So it's certainly not a bad item because it also does provide some nice damage too. But that kind of signifies to me that he wants to go a little bit more of a harder carry build here, even with AUI 2000 picking up that relic, which he has finished now. So there is, of course, that relic up on AUI 2000.
It looks like Dignitas just wants to rice it out, win the late game. Because, I mean, you know, why not, though? They have a bear free farming top, they have a Juggernaut free farming bottom. Between their Darkseer, Nyx, and Leshrac just getting all the farm mid, and they're really, like, barely getting punished for it. They ganked Fogged once mid, but that, you know, that's really not that much of a punishment for how much they farm. They have Midases on bear.
Yeah, I mean,
look at the graphs, though, it's
it
just
seems
escalating.
like Artyk has just been playing from behind the entire game. It looks like they haven't been able to put out enough aggression. And yeah, the graph has just been going up continuously. It's almost at 7,500 for both experience and gold. And once it reaches that point, Artyk's going to have to not only win one big fight, but another as well on top of that. If they can sneak something like a Roshan, which they're going to smoke up and maybe look for a kill instead, but if they can sneak something like that into a Roche, they'll definitely be in a good position. IWO is here. They're going to go ahead and silence Universe right now. Of course, the pull is going to be coming in. Long-range pull. Magic Missile stun. They will pick up the kill. Nice job coming out from EWO, who's going to be picking up that kill on the Storm Spirit. And in the mid lane, IE2000. Looking for an ensnare smash. Maybe not. But definitely a good gank coming out from the side of IWO and his teammates there. He does have that Orchid right now. That's a very nicely timed Orchid, and that's going to really... They're going to need that in order to be able to pick up some kills.
Where's the party?
Oh yeah. Can you hear that vacuum in the background?
No.
Oh, well that's really good. Okay, let me know if you do. I can just mute my mic for... Oh, never mind, it's off.
There you go. See,
Looks like
answering your own question. Meanwhile, Storm Spirit down in the bottom lane. He'll pick up a kill. And that's his second right there. In fact, he's acting as a vacuum of his own with that Electric Vortex, doing a nice job there. You see what I did there, right? It's very clever. Mihawk now in the mid lane. Roaming on through. Up in the top lane, Masoku, he does have Overgrowth right now. He is only level 6. As you can see, the next closest support is level 8, and that's his own Vengeful Spirit. And it's actually even in kills right now, but that is not the way the game is actually going, you know, because if you look at the graphs like we talked about before, it's still 5,000 heading in the way of Dignitas' favor. And it will stay that way until we can see some fights coming out from Artyk, from them getting some kills as well. But, well, let's see. Snaking heading back down to the bottom lane here. His mech is done. He's going to go for an ultimate orb, which probably means a Scythe of Eyes, I'd say. And the more items that Dignitas can get, you know, the quicker this game is essentially going to end for them. And Artyk can't really prolong this a whole lot. I mean, they've got a Yasha on the Naga Siren. She's trying to go Diffusal, but at the same time, you look at all of the other items and all of the other heroes on the side of Artyk, and yeah, you do have that Orchid Malevolence, but I mean, Radiance is done. on the side of AUI 2000 right now. At least it should be. There it goes. It's done right now as I say that. And of course, the Universe grabbing that Battle Fury, in which case he'll probably pick up another few items afterwards, and that'll help out as, I mean, it's just going to provide a lot more damage on top of that. And yeah, right now they're looking for a long-range pull on, of course, on the side of Way Too Sexy. He gets silenced, but here comes the support from the side of Dignitas. IWO is going to get filled up right now. Nice swap coming out from the side of MST Co. And there's the Siren ult, and they'll pick off AUI 2000. Now they're going to back off. Smart maneuver there. They get the kill. IWO, good swap, definitely from Misco there, just to make sure that they avoid a lot of that damage. There's going to get the Ensnare on Universe right now. Of course, he is using that Blade Fury. But of course, that Ensnare does go through Match Community. But a big pickup for Artyk there, killing that bear. And I think if there's anybody that can really get Artyk back into this game, it's going to be IWO. It has to be, essentially.
It really does, but that was incredibly well played. That was a really clean fight. They got in, got the bear, got out, no casualties. They're making good use of the song, because early game, you know, it's not gonna be that big of a deal. Like, the song, for the amount of time the ults are up, and the fact that if ults are up, it doesn't really mean that they're gonna get towers, or it's gonna be, like, for sure kills. They need to start really using these skills to get the kills that they can, because if, you know, they just sit there and want to play passive, the Dignitas is just gonna keep farming, and that gain that they had is just gonna keep growing. And you see the gold graph and XP sort of coming back down, but still doesn't look that great for Artyk.
Yeah, no, definitely does not. They need to try to get something going here for them. I mean, Smash trying to get up that Diffusion Blade. Misoku definitely needs levels. He's gotten no overgrowth set up in this game just yet. Misco, of course, on that Vengeful Spirit with a great nether swap in that previous fight. He's got the medallion. He's going to be doing some warding right now. Iwo, of course, he's up on that Storm Spirit with the Invis. He's maybe looking for a pickoff here, but everybody is not there for the side of Artyk. You can see Mihawk, you can TP in whenever, but now they've got the Sentry. Nice swap from Misco, and it looks like IWO is going to try to get out and sacrifice Misco's life for it. And there goes the kill, but now IWO is going to have to ball lightning away. Universe grabbing that kill. So nice Sentry placement coming out from the side of Dignitas, making sure they have everything covered here. Now they're looking to maybe go ahead and push mid, of course, with that Vengeful Spirit gone. They're not in danger of getting swapped. Mihawk's in the top lane. He just TP'd up there. It's on cooldown for 13 seconds. He's going for an Orchid level of his own. Meanwhile, this tower is going to get living armored, but here comes the Edict damage from Way Too Sexy. Fortification is not going to fly, it looks like, and well, let's try to pick a back kill down in the bottom lane. IWO going to continue to farm, trying to get up to that BKB right now. Looking good.
Yeah, Dignitas just has a monster tower killing team. That's just pretty scary. And looks like Aoi just picked up his Tranquil boots. He's gonna move his regular boots over to his bear. He hasn't had boots on this bear for a long time. I don't normally see that. Pretty interesting.
Meanwhile, down in the bottom lane, Storm Spirit will get a kill on Universe, of course, with the help of Misco as well as Mihawk there. Nice job. Now here comes the defense from Team Dignitas. As you can see, they're trying to roam on through here. Way Too Sexy is up in the mid lane right now. There's going to be the fortification with the Radiant Structures. There's going to be a premature dust pop coming out from the Nature's Prophet there, just to make sure no one's coming at him right now, as you can see, of course. But yeah, Lone Druid, level 14 for him. He's leading the way by a level, of course, over IWO as well as Snake King. Snake King does have the wall right now. I've actually not seen it yet. No 5-on-5 engagements have occurred in this game, pretty much. Waiting for that to actually happen as Mihawk roaming around from the backside. Maybe wants to go on to AUI 2000 here with that Radiant Spare, who can do quite a bit of damage in its own right. There's the ball lightning. AUI 2000 is in trouble. Magic Missile to follow after. The silence coming in. A lot of damage. AUI 2000 just barely surviving with that Mega. Snake King TP's in. Mihawk maybe in some trouble right now, taking a lot of damage. Iron Shell still up on the darks here, as you can see. Mihawk going to try to maybe TP out here in just a moment. The Universe is following closely behind. Mihawk is going to fall. Snake King with another double kill. Now roaming through. They're going to try to find Misco, who's going to get living armored, but he should not be able to get out of here. He can maybe smoke. They go the wrong way. They go the wrong way. Oh, Dignitas could have gotten a kill there. And they're kicking themselves in the butt right now for just missing that kill. That was a clean kill they could have had, but Misco juking in the other direction. But now Dignitas wants to go ahead and push for the bottom tower.
I'm looking at Fog's skill build, and I'm wondering what his thought process behind that is. Normally the support Nick won't be getting too many levels since, you know, he's just on support. So what we'll see him do is max Spike Carapace just for that extra little stun, because putting extra points of mana burn doesn't really do that much in team fights until you get a mech.
Here comes the overgrowth from Misoku right now. Here comes the overgrowth's gonna fly. There's the Orchid on Universe right now. Universe might be taking some damage. Way too sexy. Mech's gonna go. Misoku taking quite a bit of damage, however. Omni Slash coming in from Universe. Gonna try to get two. He'll pick up one. Snaking getting the other. Meanwhile, Mihawk, he's gonna pop the mech of his own, but he is gonna fall down as well. That is a double kill for the side of Universe. Meanwhile, the Root coming out from AUI 2000. Nice usage of the illusions, but it doesn't matter. Smash is gonna fall from the lone Druids. Radiance burn. And they get 4 for nothing. They try to set up a fight on the side of Artyk, and this is gonna lead potentially to Rax here.
They got 4 heroes, a free tier 2, and yeah, I think that they're gonna get a base tower at least. He finished his Scythe of Verse on Darkseer now. That's really bad for Storm. He doesn't have his BKB done, so he's basically a sitting duck in team fights.
That is going to be a set of Rax is gone. Ball Lightning now coming out from the side, of course, of IWO, just trying to get out of there. But that is probably the worst case scenario. 11-6 now. They had a lead. Now they've got an even bigger one. 15,000 in experience, 12,000 in gold. And this is the type of game that, you know, Dignitas like to play. And, you know, Ali's kind of fine with it. He's like, yeah, now I'm sitting up at 166 CS, 11,000 net worth. That's more like it. So he's going to go ahead and try to the mid lane maybe. Maybe back off to Roche, but I think they wanted to get a pick off here before they decided to do that. Maybe not.
Looks like they're just gonna go for it, just go for the end.
Yeah, they do want to try to take this tower down. This tower is, well, gets living armored, and then, well, the living armor goes away pretty much instantaneously. Way too sexy picking up that BKB. He is a rich Leshrac. You don't see that a whole lot. There's going to be, of course, the Diablo Edict. Nice vacuum coming in from the side of Snaking. A Root as well on a Smash. And Universe doing so much damage with the Blade Fury. There's the mech for Mihawk right now. Universe rooted in place. Gonna be a Sprout as well. Universe doesn't have Omni for another 5 seconds. He can survive. There's the mech coming in. Misoku, Smash trying to get out, but Universe might be chasing here. There's the wall. The Omni Slash, there it goes, doing a ton of damage to IW. He's not going to go down. Smash will fall, as he does get the storm up, but not going to save his life. Misoku is going to fall as well. Double kill for Snaking and Artyk. They're going to lose the Rax, potentially even this game 1 right now. Dignitas way too here. GG is in fact called, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be it for this game.
Yeah, pretty fun to watch. That was some good Storm Spirit play by UO, but I think in the end they just sort of got crippled by their lanes, and Dignitas, being the veteran team that they are, knew what to do with that advantage. Took a lot of towers, took the team fights that they needed to, and made space for their Bear and Juggernaut to get farmed.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's top tower is under attack.
They're going to go ahead and put all that real quick. But that gives you time to shout out to the sponsors. Thank you for NationalESL.com, as well as the National ESL admins. Make sure you check out NationalESL.com, as well as thank you to RaidCall, Need for Seed. On top of that, I want to remind everybody that we're going to have another game here. It is a best-of-3 series, so Dignitas will take game number 1. Artyk's going to try to force this to game 3 here, but we're going to jump into game 2 in a second. That'll be on this channel in just a couple of seconds. We'll get into a break real quick, and then we're going to jump into another game. And then after this series is done, we're going to go to Typical Mistakes versus the sides of Tryhard Dota, and that's going to be on twitch.tv/NESL_Dota2 if you would like to follow that game around. But for the time being, we're going to jump into a break. Thanks for joining us. My name is Maut. With me is Anacletus. Anacletus, can they follow you anywhere, or would you just like to give a few shout-outs or whatever?
No, I don't have any social media things, and no shout-outs right now. Sorry.
Oh, alright. Well, that's okay. I'll have a couple of shout-outs. Actually, I'll plug my Twitter and my Twitch. Check me out at twitter.com/MauntDota2. Always looking for new followers. Always like talking with people on Twitter. And check out twitch.tv/MauntDota2 as well. I'm going to be playing a lot of just matchmaking on that channel if you guys want to check that out. But I really appreciate you guys joining me. Let me know in chat what you liked about the cast, what you didn't like. Any feedback is great. And with that being said, we're going to jump into the next game. So thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be right back.